Hi everyone, welcome back to April LaBelle. Having stubby little hands, I've always wanted to try polygel to extend my nail length to elongate my fingers. So I went ahead and bought myself a polygel set from Amazon, and I'm really excited to try it and take you guys along with me for my very first time. I am by no means a nail professional, so wish me luck. So first things first, I'm protecting my skin with some SPF by Sunbum to keep my nails protected while curing under the UV lamp. Next, this is probably the most important step before doing anything else, and this is from every nail video I've watched, and trust me, I've watched a lot before purchasing nail supplies because I just wanted to make sure that I can actually do this on my own. And I've learned that prepping the nails before application is truly the most important step. So I'm just trimming my natural nails down and filing the edges to smooth them out. And then I'm just brushing off any excess from filing, and with an alcohol wipe, I'm ensuring I'm removing any impurities that are still on my nails. With this cuticle pusher I got from Amazon, and I'll be linking everything I used in the description box down below, I'm just going to go ahead and push my cuticles back like I'm doing here. This just gives a cleaner look and also helps get rid of anything that's stuck close to the cuticle, like that thing. Then I'm just trimming the cuticle that I pushed back as best as I can, being very careful not to cut my skin. Now that it's clean, I'm going back in with the alcohol wipe to wipe away once again. Now with a buffer, almost every polygel video I've watched talks about doing this step so that the polygel will stick on better and longer, which is exactly what we want. So I'm just lightly buffing the surface on top of all my nails. Yet again, the same alcohol wipe. One last and final thing for prepping, I'm going in with this Prep Nail Primer by Red Carpet and applying it to my nails to remove any leftover oils. Finally, the Polygel Kit. I'll link it down below. This is what it looks like, and it also comes with instructions on the back. And when you open it, it comes with 6 different shades, a base coat, a top coat, the dual forms, which is great for beginners like me, and a brush and spatula in one. I'm going for this light pink shade today. Now with the dual forms, as you can see, I totally opened it upside down, so if you do that, just turn it back up real quick. Now for the fun part, I'm just picking out the dual forms that best match my own nail beds in size. My nail beds are actually very small and very difficult to find nail covers or dual forms that match them perfectly, but I'll show you in a bit on how I trim them and file them to fit my nails the best I can. After selecting the dual forms that are the closest to the nail size for each finger, I'm going in with some scissors to trim the dual form for my pinky. This was the smallest dual form in the set, but predictably still too big for my pinky. And I keep trimming little by little until I feel like it's fitted perfectly. The one I picked out for my thumb was also too big around the cuticle area, so I had to trim and file it to fit better as well. My kit didn't come with slip solution, so here's a bottle of 91% alcohol, which I'm using as slip solution. Because polygel is very sticky and intact, we need slip solution to help spread the polygel and manipulate it around. Now that I've got some slip solution ready, I'm applying a very thin layer of the base coat on all of my nails, being very careful not to get it on my skin. If I do, I'll just go ahead and wipe it away. This is important before curing because once you cure, the gel will stick to your skin if you don't remove it. This could cause lifting and peeling easily. Then I just cure under the lamp for 30 seconds. Now with the polygel tube, I'm opening it for the first time and squeezing a little amount onto the spatula side it came with. Then I'm putting it onto the back of the dual form, and I totally forgot for a brief second that after doing this, I'm supposed to dip the brush side into the slip solution to move it around. Instead, I was trying to spread it with the spatula, which was a big face palm. So anyway, I keep dipping and smoothing out the polygel to my liking, and also looking at it from the front to make sure I've got it all covered. And then I'm squeezing a bit more onto the spatula because I decided I want it to look a bit more opaque. So once I'm happy with the way it looks, I go ahead and place it on my nail. Doing this for the first time was honestly a bit tricky to do due to the shade being such a natural color. I couldn't quite tell where my cuticle was when I placed it, but I eventually figured it out, and this actually ended up being the best nail I did. If any polygel seeps out, it's real easy to remove with the brush like I'm doing here. And then I didn't realize it until after I completely finished with everything, but smoothing and flattening out the backside of the nail is extremely important to prevent such thick tips. I ended up with very thick tips on the ones I didn't thoroughly flattened, which is not pretty and it takes a lot of time to fix. Okay, now I'm just curing it for 30 seconds and curing the backside as well. So it may seem kind of hard to remove the dual form at first, but once you get the hang of it, it just pops right off. I noticed the cuticle area wasn't smoothly filled in, so I went ahead and placed more polygel onto that area. And then dipping my brush into the slip solution, I'm trying my best to smooth out and fill in that area. And of course, cure it after once I like it. Then I clip the tip off the length I like and file it into the shape I want. I'm also filing down the cuticle area I added to make it more smooth with the rest of the nail. Then I noticed how thick the back of the nail was, so I took my new e-file, which I also bought from Amazon. Everything is pretty much from Amazon. And I tried to file the back to thin it out using the lowest setting because it was my first time using that as well. Once I got tired of doing that because filing can be a little time consuming, I started filing the edge of my nail around the cuticle to smooth it out. And then I noticed I still didn't like the thickness of the back, so I went in with another e-file head and thinned it out even more. So the cool thing about polygel is you can still go in and add a little more and fix things to your liking before you decide to put on the top coat. I, for whatever reason, felt the need to go back in and add another layer even though it wasn't necessary. Smooth it out again, cured, file again until I was happy, and bam, it was time to top it off with the shiny top coat this kit came with. The best part, in my opinion. Again, being careful not to touch my skin. Cured it, and I really love how this turned out. It looks so natural, and all the hard work I did on the thinning of the backside also paid off. Okay, so for my middle finger, it's a great example of what not to do if you're a beginner like me. I decided to try another method that's really popular on TikTok, which is basically placing the dual form onto the polygel while it's on your nail and spreading it out that way. That nail came out terrible. I tried my best to fix it by going back in and filling in the gaps over and over again until it looked better. It still didn't look too good. I later learned that I was supposed to put on a lot more polygel if I was going to use this method. I really should have just stuck to what worked and did the original method as a beginner after experiencing that. But of course, I really wanted that second method to work for me, so I decided to try it a second time on my wedding finger, which came out the worst, and then my pinky finger, which finally came out the best out of the three using that second method, but still not as good as the first method I used for my index finger. So I settled because it was getting late and I just wanted to be done already. Applied the top coat and cured those three fingers. For my thumbs and my right hand, I stuck to the original method I showed you, and I actually did it very quickly because I was already getting used to the texture of polygel and how to apply it. My right hand ended up overall looking better than my left hand because I used the first method, and then also practice just makes perfect. As you can see, the index finger on my left hand, which was the first nail I did in the beginning, looks way better than the other three, which I screwed up on trying that second method. Also, I have no idea what that clear thing was or where it came from, but I just peeled it off easily. Let me know if you guys know what that is because it's not glue, but it felt like glue. I could have left my nails the way they were, but in an attempt to cover up the three nails I screwed up on, I applied 2 coats of this polish, curing in between each coat. After all that, I applied cuticle oil and massaged them in to keep them nice and healthy. These are the nails the very next day, and I gotta say, I am very happy with them and I intend to keep practicing until I get better and better. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!